this bit that I'm doing now in lesson 4 is called the psychology of trading. And what you've got to understand is that you see, and it's almost like I'm saying, is it that the universe is actually telling me something like, to humble myself? But I'm somebody who's very optimistic. I'm somebody who is very positive. I'm somebody who, is just gonna see the positive in everything, in the positive in everyone, and so on. But I must say, I sort of underestimate the effect of the Russian war, and which is really significantly dent my account. And I'm not gonna lie, it really put a strain on my brain. And I've never felt that way in a while, in terms of my mental state. And one of the reason why I got to that point is because I over leverage. Now, remember, like, I'm somebody who use loans. I use credit cards to buy property and, rent that out and pay off the credit card and those sort of things. I would get money from my trading account, buy a property over in Gambia. Those sort of things. I'm a risk taker and all of those sort of things. But there is something about what we call taking too much risk and not managing risk. Now, I had to call one of my friends who is the one who's really gotten me to the level I want to be. He's the one who got me to the level I want to be, because he lost over what, nearly £300,000. But this he had like a £1 million account, and and he lost over 300K when Corona first came out, because the market just went AWire. And I saw, he was the first person to show me like a real account with real money with real profit. And so, I called him and I said, like, what do you do when you've got such a big loss? And he was like, look, at the end of the day, Marlon, I would say take a break away from trading for a bit, and then you pick up after. Don't look at any chart, and then start again. But he said one of the biggest challenge for you is because you are going too big. And I know, of course, when you go big, you make big, but when you lose big, and you can lose so much more than you put in. So, and to be honest, it's just greed. And this is one thing I'm gonna tell you in trading, it's greed. I went over leverage, and I'm gonna be teaching you about leverage and what leverage is all about, because that would be part of the course as well that I'm gonna teach you. Now, all the stuff that I taught my students, the cohort of students I had previously, I forgot about some of the rules I've taught them, to be honest. And sometimes when your environment, when certain things are out of sync, and your work-life balance isn't at the right place where it's supposed to be, then a lot of other things will be affected. And it's just like you work in a normal job, your performance, if your whole life that you live in is not like at where it's supposed to be, then what you'll find is you will struggle. You'll struggle to work in a normal job. And this is what I'm saying. So ultimately, it's one of those things where if you understand yourself first and foremost, and understand your limitations as well, then you're better able to trade in an effective way. But what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be watertight in terms of the way I go about teaching you how to do this thing, right? And ultimately, if this is something that you want to do, you can do it. You can make an income. And this particular strategy that I'm going to be teaching you is the one that I was using to kill the market. But I totally went overboard with how I was doing it, and I was just not expecting the Russia to actually invade Ukraine. That's just I just, and just like how I wasn't expecting the COVID-19 to be as it did, but then I still made money anyway, because I was trading the stock market, so it just its market just was just going up anyway, and I did so well, you know um but then I'm like, what, I want this and I want that, and I was just going, I was pushing too hard, but without following my rules, and my rules never to risk a certain amount. I went in really, really big. And that's the thing sometimes, because I was winning, non-stop winning, on one of my clients' account. I was up like, that client gave me what, let me see, I think he gave me 25,000, this one client. His account was, and this was like last year, September time, when he gave me this money. His account was up like over £10,000. So even his account I went big on as well, because I was like, COVID-19 is finished. You know what else is there? The market is going to open back, everything. But you can't really rely on those sort of things. You've got to understand exactly, what you're doing, and you've got to follow rules. The bottom line is you've got to follow rules, and you can't let your emotions, get ahead of you. You can't let the emotion get ahead of you. And of course, you can make money if you've got money, but you've got to take trades based on the proportion of the account size, you know. And this is one element of trading that you've got to understand. But you know what has happened as well? I've actually had to have humble pie, and of course I can always say, okay, I've lost all this money. I could always jump back in and just sell a property and then use that funds from the property to trade again. But of course, I've still got accounts that are there. I've got clients' accounts I'm still trading who they're in profit. But guess what? None of the small size accounts have been hit at all, because of those people account. I know they're very like they're very serious about not spending too much money. So I've been really taking my time. All of them are up at least 20% on their money. So that sort of give me that confidence that, Marlon, yeah, what you do works. But every time you try to be greedy and so on, you always get humble pie. So I'm just gonna have to take heed from that, and stop thinking that Rome is gonna be built in one day, you know, and there's so much I want to do, and I just want to do it now. And sometimes when you think that way, it just never work out. And every time I think that way, it never works out, because I was thinking, no, I want to buy that place right now, like no, like tomorrow. And because I'm all into ask and you shall receive, and if you put the time and effort in, then it will happen. Then in that sense, I was expecting that it was just going to happen. But you know what? Sometimes things happen, and this is the thing. One, the thing that you've got to understand, and let me give you an example, like with teaching, because sometimes people don't recognize that if you don't follow rules, and sometimes things won't go your way. And I'll give you an example. Say a teacher now sits in a classroom, because I work as a teacher as well. I love teaching. And because things have been going so well for me, I've actually resigned my job, right? And basically resign my job and decide that I want to really, because I need to spend more time trading. And if I'm earning enough from trading, what's the point of killing myself? And then I had to know recent. I've gone down to part time, so I'm going to be doing 3 days a week. But then, like I'm like, probably have to go back and say, can you give me the 5 days back, because things things aren't looking that good for me. And so, but anyway, I know with my brain, and of course I've still got other businesses that operate, but it's almost like I was at that level where I could say, yeah. And that's the thing. You can't really. And one of the things, even though I was feeling down, because I knew that I was still alive and I didn't go and commit suicide or anything like that, and I know I was still alive, I know I still can achieve whatever I put my mind to, and I know I'm good at what I do. So I don't need to worry about anything. And also the fact that it's not about the money per se, it's about how much good you can do for people as well. Because once I teach enough people, and a lot of people understand, and they're making money, they're going to tell other people about you as well. And that's the ultimate. And look, that's one of the reasons why I said, look, what I'm going to do is, before I even charge anybody any money whatsoever about this course, I need to show you, I need you to see if you're equipped to do this thing. And on this journey, what I try to do is, I'm teaching you, but I'm going to be teaching you the psychology of trading. And I'm going to share my experiences with you, and other traders' experience as well. Now, when we had the recession in 2008, I met this guy later on in the future. I used to teach his, actually, I wasn't trading then. I basically, I was teaching his children, but he was a trader, and this guy never leaves his house, and he's always dressing up really, really nicely. Yeah, just give me 1 minute. All right. This guy used to teach his son A-level physics, right? And basically, he um he always just he dressed professional when he's at home. And eventually he lost big, and he lost big so much that he remortgaged the house that he was living. He didn't tell his wife. And then at one point, no, so I want, it's when I went back to speak to him and ask him about trading and what he was doing. I was like, he was saying to me, man, this is not real, man. Every time I try, I always fail. And so on and so forth. And I'm like, so what happened? And he was like, he just went too big. And that's the thing I'm gonna say to you guys. You see, with trading, um, never risk more than you can afford to lose. But ultimately as well, never going too big. You know, if of course if you've got £100,000, then if you're risking 200-300 pounds, you understand that's nothing. But then if someone has a £1,000 account and they're risking £200, all it takes is a couple of trades to wipe your account. Of course, if you're buying stocks, then that's a different thing. And of course, this strategy can be used to buy stocks. This strategy I'm going to be teaching, it can be used for almost anything, cryptocurrency, everything. Yeah. So and also I've given a number and a number of the last cohort of students that I've actually told they really enjoy this course, and they finally gain the confidence to do it. But today, what we're going to look at now, um, we got to the point where we look at what is a currency pair, and we also look at what's a currency pair, and then then I got to the point now I was gonna speak about what are the majors and the minor currency pair. Now, before we move any further now and talk about the majors and the minors and so on, was there anybody who still didn't download the platform? Because
I didn't download the platform. I don't know how to do that.
Okay. So, for the platform, right, you can actually get it in lesson 1 and 2. But I'll put the name of the platform. I'll get the platform up for you now. So at least you've got it, and then you can follow the instructions on how to get it. Okay. So let me just get that down for you. Okay. So it's FP. Let me see. Can someone find out for me the FB Market demo account? Has anybody got it? Can just put it in the chat while I carry on. Has anybody got it?
Malan, what was the request again?
The request is to see if anybody has got the FB Market demo account link. So I can just drop it in the chat so someone can actually, so anybody who hasn't got it can get that sorted, because that's what we're gonna need for everyone to have, so they can make that progress. Right. So okay, so guys, what we're looking at today, right? We're looking at the majors and the minors. So if I go into this section here, is what we call the market watch, right? Now, what I'm going to do, as you know, I love doing, until I get back to the chart part of it, then what I'm going to do, I'm going to get individuals just to basically do this part for me, okay? So who would like to share their screen with me? Who would like to share their screen? Where you seeing my screen all along?
Yeah, we can see your screen.
Yeah. Okay, who would like to share their screen? But you've got to have the empty your MetaTrader open. Who would like to share their screen?
I'm happy to, Marlon, but if anybody else wants to, I know I was last week, but
Yeah,
if
anybody
no
else?
one else wants to, then I'm quite more than happy to.
Anybody else? Anybody? After 3, 2, 1. Okay, yeah, go on then, David. Let me stop sharing.
Yeah, you just have to remind me how to share it again.
Yes.
Got the screen loaded here.
Yeah, and then you see where you see those photos, then you'll see share.
Yeah, got you.
Okay.
Okay, can you see that?
Yeah, I can see that there. Looking nice, looking nice. Excellent. Okay, so that's what the platform looks like. So what you're gonna do for me, you're gonna close the trade at the bottom there. Click on the X there for trade. Yeah, X left side.
Oh.
Yeah, that one. Yeah. And then what we're gonna do as well, we're gonna also. Okay, we're also going to. We're also gonna go. We're gonna right click on the left on Market Watch. And then what we're gonna do, we're gonna go to symbols. Go to symbols. And we're going to when we're going to symbols, what we're gonna do as well, we're gonna look. Can you see the majors there? Yeah, those are the majors. So click on the majors. So the Euro, US, and all of those currency pairs are the major currency pairs. Okay. So those currency pairs are the major the major economy all over the world. So the Euro USD, the GBP USD, the New Zealand USD, Aussie USD, USD CAD, United States of America, Japanese currency, United States the Swiss franc, and the United States Hong Kong dollar. Okay, those are the major currency pairs. Now let's look at the minors now. Click on the minors. Okay, so we've got a lot of minors. So scroll down on the minors there. Yeah, those are Euro Jappy. Those are, if you notice, most of those currency pairs, of course, you might say a USD Singapore dollar, but Singapore is not like a major economy. So that's the reason why it comes under the minor. But most of the minor currency pairs are currency pairs that are cross with other currency pairs with apart from the US dollar. So the US dollar is the major. All the big countries is going to be like with the US dollar. But anyone that you see, like you see USD, Singapore, and so on, those are like Singapore is not a major economy. So that's the reason why they are like the minors. Okay. So we're going to be trading across majors and minors, and we're going to get you to look at the currency pairs that you want to trade. But because I've traded these currency pairs so much, and I've done over 1 million in terms of lots that I've traded, like pips that I've traded, and we'll talk more about pips. I will have enough information to share with you about all of these different currency pairs because I've got so much data based on this strategy I've been using as well. Now, what we've got now is the exotics currency pairs. Okay, and click on the exotics now for me, please.
Marlon?
Yeah?
I interrupt you for a second, please.
Say that again.
I interrupt you for a second.
Yes, you can.
I cannot, I'm on my phone at the moment and I don't understand how to get it on the laptop. My laptop is open, but I do not understand how to get the Zoom.
Okay, so what I want you to do now for me, David, I would like you to click on the exotic pairs, Forex Exotics. Okay, so that's what we call it now. So the Forex Exotics are like currency like the Swedish krona, Singapore dollar, Great Britain. These are currencies that they don't really trade big. So because they don't really trade that much, then you won't find this spread, and that's something that I need to talk to you about. In fact, I can talk to you about them now. Now, the spread is how much money you're going to basically need to pay to get into a particular trade. Okay, but the spread, I have to spend more time on that. But more than anything else is it's very expensive to trade these exotic currency pairs. So usually we don't trade them. Just scroll down so we can see some of those names. We've got the New Zealand Singapore. There's not much dealing between New Zealand and Singapore. Of course, you've got the US dollar and Norwegian krona. There's not much dealing between those. You've got the US dollar and the Poland, not much dealing. You understand? With US, with Sweden, not much dealing. But of course, you're gonna have the US with you know, you know, say for example, with England, with with Europe and so on. That's the reason why, if you notice those there, we've got like New Zealand USD. But of course, you know, those are the big players anyway. So can we see all of those currency pairs? You know, they're not Mexico and US dollar. They're not really, but of course, you could still get good deals in terms of good currency pairs from this. But we'll have to look at the spread, and the spread is something that I'll be teaching you as well. Right. So let's go on to the indices now. So the indices now, we've got Hang Seng and the JBP 220 and so on. All of these are US 500. Like this is what, like the stock market makes up the indices. For example, if you scroll, it's a UK 100. Now the UK 100 cash, it's basically, click on that one. That one represents, for me, that one represents the top 100 companies in the UK. And that's what makes up the indices. Like you've got what's the name? You've got like Tesco. You've got like, let me see who else we've got in the top 100. We've got, well, no, Mark and Spencer is no longer there. We've got Barclays Bank. We've got Barrett's. We've got we've got lots of different companies that are in the UK 100. So it's a stock market that makes up the indices. Now, some people trade the indices, and this strategy can also, the strategy I'm going to be teaching you, also can be used to trade indices. Let's look at the commodities now. Click on the commodities. So the commodities we've got like is crude oil. We've got also the British crude oil. We've got the American crude oil. So the Brent crude is British crude oil. We've also got natural gas as well. Okay, so those are, you know, of course, I've never traded the structure using any of these commodities before. I've never done it before, using them before. Metal, let's go to silver. So we can trade metals as well. Okay, yeah, I've never used it on silver before, but I've used it on gold. I did really well on gold with the strategy. So let's go to, so that's silver there. But silver cross with the Aussie dollar, silver cross with the US dollar. But I've never traded the silver with the euro. I've never traded the silver with Australian dollar, but I've traded silver with the US dollar because that's a major currency pair. You know, so the major there in terms of silver, trade with the US dollar, you're gonna get better deals on trading, you know, silver with the US dollar, because of course, you know, that's the reason why at the moment Russia is trying to get everyone to trade with them in the ruble, yeah. Because, you know, if they trade in the ruble, then they're going to get fair value. But then if they basically trade with the US dollar, then because the America sanctions and the European sanctions are there to sort of increase the inflation in Russia, so thereby reducing the value of their currency. So then it's going to be a disadvantage to them because they've got to buy the US dollar to trade with someone. Are people buying their product? Are they buying products from other people? Yeah, so let's go on to metals now. Yeah, metal gold. Yeah, gold. Yeah, I've traded gold using the strategy as well with the US dollar, but I've never done it with Australian, or I've never done it with the euro. And then we come on to the popular now that everybody loves, cryptocurrency. I've never done it with cryptocurrency. I think the cryptocurrency is very volatile. The way it moves sometimes, you know, so you've got the Dogecoin, but these here that you see, the Ethereum, the Bitcoin Cash, the Dogecoin, the Chainlink, these are all the majors in terms of currency pairs. These are the majors when it comes on to the currency pairs, you know, and in terms of all of them are linking with the US dollar. And if you link with the US dollar, then you're more likely to survive. Currency pairs that don't link with the cryptos that don't link with the US dollar are more likely to die in the future. But there's no guarantee of that, and I'm not saying that they're going to die or anything. I'm just saying you're more likely to have a better chance of surviving as a cryptocurrency if your linking is with the US dollar. And if you notice, all of those cryptocurrencies are linked in with the US dollar. like the Ripple. And the major cryptos there are like the Ripple. We've got Bitcoin USD. Dogecoin is only recently. Chainlink is only recently. Cardano is only recently. Scroll up from it. All of those at the bottom there are only recently. The major ones, the major cryptos are the Ethereum, the Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, Ripple, and Bitcoin USD. Those are the major ones. And if you want to trade any crypto tool, I'd recommend those because those have got like a lot of them have got way of transferring money faster and so on, and way of making payment, and in terms of the transaction fee and so on and so forth is reduced significantly for big companies who want to wire money fast. Okay. The ones at the bottom, I don't know. I don't know much about them, but I'm hearing that I think Dogecoin has to do with the guy from Tesla. Okay, let's go on to crypto 2. Okay, is there anything in crypto 2? Okay, they haven't got anything in there. Okay, let's click on equity. No, equity, these are stocks like BMW and the country like Deutsche Bank, you know, you've got these are from the EU countries. That's what this is about. So we can trade stocks and so on. But guess what, guys? The thing is that, you know, once I finish teaching you, you're gonna have 3 months to see, right, how you go about using the strategy. And it could be that you choose a few stocks that you like from the UK, and you just say, okay, I'm gonna try and use the strategy and see if it works with them. I've never tried it on stocks before. I'm not sure how it would work because stocks more collapse sometimes, and or they'll just jump and they'll make significant moves. You know, but of course you've got major stocks that don't really make significant move, but they do. Like BP will just drop, collapse one day, and then all of a sudden it's shot back up. AstraZeneca and all of these things. So I'm not sure. Probably wouldn't use I probably wouldn't trade it with stocks, but nothing is stopping you from applying the same skills, the same mindset, the same reasoning to trade stocks. Okay. Now, so those are the EU stocks. Scroll on so we can see what the EU stocks are like. So those are the big stocks in the EU. Yeah. Okay, so those are the big stocks within the EU. Okay, let's go and look at some UK stocks. Okay. And we call these equity, right? So we've got BP, we've got RBS, we've got Vodafone, we've got Rio Tinto, we've got Shell, we've got Standard Charter. And all of these are HSBC. These are the within the FTSE 100, actually within the FTSE 250, the top 250 stocks in the UK. Okay, and we've got GSK, GlaxoSmithKline, and so on. We've got Lloyd's and so on. So they haven't got many stocks though. And let's look at the equities now from America now. Okay, we've got all of those stocks there where, you know, Amazon, you know, American Express, AT&T, these are Boeing, you know, these are Caterpillar. These are the big brands in America. Facebook, Google, you know, Facebook, Google, they're not going to just collapse. Disney, these companies are going to be here for a while. You know, of course, you know, as you know, Facebook, they'll buy WhatsApp, they'll buy Instagram, they'll buy these things because of course they've got the money. We've got Alibaba, who's a major player, you know, so a lot of these companies, you know, are here to stay really. They're not just going to go bust like that. But of course, if you see, you know, you might say, no, I like Google. What I'm going to do, I'm going to try the strategy with Google and see if I can actually make, you know, make a certain sum of money per month, you know. But as I said, it's for the major currency pairs and the minor currency pairs is what I'm going to be mainly teaching you about, but nothing stopping you from exploring. Okay, we'll go on to platinum and palladium, right? These are some, you know, I've traded them before and I've done really well, but not using this particular strategy I'm going to be teaching you. And then we've got equity CFDs. Those are in Hong Kong. And then we've got and then yeah, those are some Chinese well, Bank of China sort of stocks. Yeah. And then I've got soft commodities, yeah, which is your wheat, your coffee, your soybean, your cocoa, your corn. You can trade all of those things. So there's so much for you to trade. You know, there's so much for you to trade. Just give me 1 minute. I put something on the stove. Give me 1 minute. Jesus. Oh, sorry about that, guys. Oh my gosh, Jesus. Whoa. Oh, memory. Okay. Right. Oh my. Okay. So yeah, carry on. Yep. So that's it for that part. Right. So what we're gonna do now, I've actually I'm just gonna be asking people just to ask any question. China tend to manipulate their currencies. And for example, don't deal with like the ruble, the Russian ruble, because they will probably, end up manipulating as well. Because for example, when we had the sanctions hit Russia, what they did was they increased their interest rate, because by increasing interest rate, then that will then cause if you increase your interest rate, then that will then tend to increase the value of your currency. And that's the reason why, for example, the Russian ruble has been increasing. It has been increasing against the US dollar since they've increased the interest rate. Yeah. Any other question, no, guys? Let's take some other questions.
I have two.
Yeah, carry on.
Okay, the first one, you mentioned the word spread, and I think you said something like how much you need to spend to get into the trade or the market. Would you give us a live example of what you mean by that?
Okay, no, no, okay, so what I needed to do, right, David, on the market watch setting there, I want you to right click in there for me. Just right click, yeah, right click, and then go to let me see, go to column, go down to column, let me see, scroll down to column. Okay, and then what I want you to do, I want you to look for spread in there. Yeah, click on spread for me. Okay, yeah, that's it. And then what I want you to uncheck daily for me. Okay, and then come off that now for me, please. And then what I want you to do now, I want you to pull it over slightly. I want you to pull, where you're gonna hover to where you see the word spread there. I want you to hover to the left. Just move your cursor to the left slightly. Move your cursor to the left. Yeah, and then move it, and then pull now to the right now. Press down and then pull to the right. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so what we're gonna do now, we're gonna basically, where the bid and the ask, move the bid over slightly. So you just hover there and then pull them down and pull them to the left. That's it. And then pull where you see the GBP USD, pull that one now to the left as well. Okay, no, yeah, okay. It's not really okay. So anyway, we're seeing the spread that's there. Can you see now that spread there where you see GBP USD? That word there is the spread. Can you see the word spread there? SPRED? Yeah, that's the spread. So the spread there is actually 40. It's actually 1. We divide it by 10, so it's like 1.3. So it's a one pip. That is. Now where you see 6, like for the USD Hong Kong dollar there, that one is 6 pip. Now what we're gonna do now, we're gonna compare this now to say the Hong Kong, to say the exotics. So what I want you to do now, David, I want you to right click now, right click for me in that section, and I want to go to symbols. And then when you go into symbols, I want you to click on the Forex Exotics. And then I want you to then click on a few of them. Let's click on a few of them. And then pull it up a bit, pull it up slightly. Just pull it up slightly so we can see everything, yeah? And then click on it, and then you're gonna click show symbol. So click on that Euro South African Rand, and then click on it first. Euro South African Rand, and then click show symbol. And then it will appear in the market watch, and then click on a few more. Yeah, no, not the US there, because that's still like a little major, but they still put it. The Euro Turkish lira. Okay, and click show symbol, and then go to US dollar Norwegian krona, and then click show symbol, and then click OK. Okay, and then can you see now? Can you see? You would pay, if we just divide that bit, the euro South African rand there, that one you're looking at, you'd have to pay, if you were doing £1 per pip, you'd have to pay $75 to open that trade. If you're using which one is a try? Hover over the euro try. Let me see what's in it. Turkish lira, yeah. the Turkish lira, basically, you'd have to, if you were to go into that trade to whether you're doing buying or selling, you'd pay £187, yeah, to go in that trade, because that's what we call the spread. That's the spread between the buy and the sell. So that's how the company makes their money. Okay, that's how the company make their money. So if you look at, say, the GBP US dollar, that's actually, if you divide, you'd pay like £2 there, or one pound something. Sorry, like if you're doing a pound a point. But you wouldn't be doing a pound a point. When you start trading, you'd be doing like 10 pence a point. So to go into that trade, you'd be looking like you'd be looking at £1 something you'd be looking at £1 something per trade. 16 pence, sorry, if you're doing 10 pence per point. Okay, so now we've got the euro. So can you see now? Have I answered your question now?
Yes, you have.
So which other question? You said two. Have I answered both?
No.
What's the second one?
At the beginning, you used the word leverage.
Oh, yeah, leverage. No, leverage now, right? If leverage is, for example, you can have leverage of any amount, but right now in the UK and a lot of companies, they've got to go overseas now in terms of leverage. Now, leverage is like in the UK at the moment, the standard leverage for non-professional traders is 1 to 30. So every pound, if you put £100 in your trading account, you can trade up to 30 times 100. So you could be trading up to £3,000 if you put £100 in your account. So you can take trades out that's equivalent to £1,000. Now, one thing though, leverage can be good, it can be bad. Now, one thing you've got now, some people know. So if you've got 1 to 500 leverage, then if you put £100 in your account, you'll be looking at 500 times that, so you'll be looking at 50,000. So that's the amount that you'll have to trade at your disposal. So that's the difference. So leverage is like a double-edged sword. It can be good, it can be bad. With leverage, if you take big trades out, of course it can make, you can make big money, but of course it can also wipe your account. So I would say trade as small as you can. Risk management and how much you're willing to risk per trade is paramount. And the more you exercise caution and be respectful to trading and don't treat it as if it's not a business, then the more likely you're going to be able to survive in this business. Okay. Hopefully that answers your question.
Yes.
Okay, brilliant. Anybody else with any other question? Hello? Anyone else? Yes, Rookie?
Just have a question because I'm new to the trading
Okay.
market. I need to set up an account first and kind of watch the first lessons and then
Yeah. No, most definitely. You'll be able. It's not going to be challenging. But not only that, remember now that we won't have any lesson now until another 2 weeks after Easter, because so everybody can get a break and then everybody will be able to catch up as well. So you'll be able to catch up on everything because you're gonna have 2 weeks to get. And what I'll do as well, then I'll put in the link for where you're gonna get the trading account, and then all you've got to do is just watch the videos and so to self-explanatory. And that's the reason why I just sort of ask people like to do it. So if I'm directing that person and they're doing it, then hopefully you'll see it. But one thing I would really love for people to do is to really take this thing seriously, where they basically like have a laptop, if possible, or a desktop, or something, some device that's going to be able to, so you can look at what we're doing. But remember, especially, and I don't want you to do exactly what we're doing now, because of course then we wouldn't bother. What's the point of having the recording if we're going to be doing it now? But the recording, you'll be able to use to see exactly what we're talking about. But remember, just as though you, and this is something I want people to understand, just with anything else, and this is the pros and cons. As a trader, you're your own boss. Like, for example, the other day, right? Nobody was telling me that I should go in big. I told myself that. So I am in charge of my own actions. Whereas when I go to work as a teacher, right, I basically decide that that, I'm gonna go in, and I'm not in. Those children I'm not the sole person who's in charge. You got the head teacher. So the head teacher said to me, look, you need to go and teach that and that. Then that's what I'm gonna do. I'm not going to I'm not gonna basically go and do whatever I want to do. You understand? I've got to basically I've got to follow through what they're saying, because she's the head one in the institution. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So she's my boss, sort of thing. But then what you've got to understand is, you see, at the end of the day, you're in charge, and you're the boss, and you're going to be taking the actions on your own. So that's the difference with trading. You're your own boss. And sometimes as the boss, you'll make bad decisions sometimes because you don't have anybody else challenging you. And that's the reason why it's important that you've got rules. And these rules are what we've got to follow. And the day name day is when you feel like, what, I've made 40K now, so I'm going to do, and I can do whatever I want because I can play with whatever I want. That's the day when you went, you make some really, really silly mistakes, and then end up regretting it after and thinking, if I just known, it's too late now because the money is gone. So it's really important that you really understand that you're your own boss in this business, and you dictate what you do. And that's the reason why I've got to teach you rules. That's the reason why I've got to share with you my experiences, so therefore you don't make the same mistake. Because how can someone say they make over 40K in a few months and then talk about that, they're going in big? Because this has nothing to do with my rules. I'm talking about, look, I am going in, the fact that and let me tell you something, of course it could have paid off. I'm not lying, it could have paid off, because the potential is, if Russia didn't go into Ukraine, I'll be laughing right now. I'll be like, look at this, I'll be like, oh, you are the best thing since sliced bread. And I'll be like, I'm one of the best black traders in the world, that's what I'll be saying. But look, I'm eating humble pie now. But I'm not giving up. I just need to know that, look, no matter what, you're not invincible, and you've got to follow rules, and you can't be teaching people one thing and then doing another, because that it just doesn't work. I was like, I went and got a brand new Mercedes, and I was like, yeah, oh my God, I just can't believe it. So I'm sorry, but I'm telling you, my brain like been just frying for the last since what Russia's war started, what now, 6 weeks, and they're still going. And, even if Russia just come out, like, because everything went back up, I was like up back nicely, and then Russia still stay, and just Jesus peace, man. Wow, but I'll get over it, and and the good thing about it for me really is the fact that I've got clients accounts who they're in profit. So, just sort of give me that confidence that, look, everything works. It's just me and my greed, and just need to just understand that, look, it doesn't work like that. You've got to follow your rules. You've got to be respectful of your rules. Okay, anybody else would like to ask a question?
Yeah, I have a last question.
Yeah, carry on.
I listened to what you said. It looks like the trading market is affected by any political environment which is living so far. Is that right?
No, well, no. You see, the stock market is affected big time.
Okay.
But the foreign exchange market, you want that one to move. Because let me tell you now, you see, unless like there's a world war with Russia and the West and so on, then you'll have some big moves. But barring a world war, then this strategy, you'll be able to it will apply, and it can be up or down, and you want the market to be moving. But the stock market will be affected big time, because that's where the major blow for me. But of course, if you're going too big, then that's where you're going to feel it. So the way the strategy works is, we're buying when the market is going up, and when the market is going down, we're selling. So we're mimicking exactly what the market is doing, right? So we'll be fine, and also we have only got, and this is what I taught my last set of students: you only should be trading maximum 5 to 7 currency pairs. I was trading like 16 because I knew I'm like, I'm Superman, right. I'm telling you, because you see, sometimes when you're like, it's like, I can't, like, to be honest, I just wasn't losing at all. You know, I made over 500% since you know, because Corona, I finished with Corona, and then Russia, and so then I smashed up. You know, I survived with Corona, and then I came to that point. I was up like 500%. I was just killing it, and then all of a sudden, when this Russia thing come out, it's like, you know, I just didn't know what to do. You know, sorry guys, let me get my charger. Sorry. So you know, it was stuff that happen out in the real world and in the normal world will affect stuff, will affect the market, but not that so we can't trade. Because what traders want, they want the market to be moving. Any other questions, guys? Any other questions? Any other questions, guys? Okay.
No, thank you.
Huh?
Thank you for me.
I didn't get that. Say that again.
That's no question for me. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. Anybody else with any other question? No, let me see. Let me see. What I want people to type for me in the chat. Yeah, I want people to type for me in the chat. Okay, and I'll probably put it in. So what is meant by spread? What is meant by leverage? And also, and then we've also got what's the major currency pair? What's a minor currency pair? And what are also the exotic currency pairs? So that's what you're gonna do. Plus, you should also have your chart set up and ready. Okay. Ready to go for when I see you on the 29th of this month. Okay, guys, thank you very much for your participation. And if you've got anyone at all who's interested in learning to trade, you can share the videos with them. We can get them coming in and get them involved in what we're doing. Okay, and I'm hoping that once you finish this course with me, then I'm not going to be charging any big prices to teach you. But then what I want is I want lots of testimonials about the process. And also, if you would like me to trade any funds, the minimum though I'll trade for anyone is £1,000. That's a minimum. I won't trade anything less because it's, you know, I won't be able to have any leverage to take good trades. All right, guys. But of course, there's small size trades, but you'll then see that progress, and I'll be sharing. And anybody who sort of ask me to trade your account, I'll be sharing that account on a weekly basis. And guess what happened? If you seriously want me to trade your account, there's some really good opportunities now. So I would say jump on board so I can make a good chunk of money for you. Probably, you know, by the time we get to the payment section, you know, you could probably be taking money as some of the profit from your account to pay for the course at some point when I decide to charge. Okay. Speak to you all soon and have a happy Easter. God bless.
Thanks, Marlon.
Thank
God
you,
bless
Marlon.
you.
Yeah,
God
yeah,
bless.
bye.
Good
Bye.
night.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're
Bye.
welcome. Bye, bye, bye.
Bye.
Bye.